G'day guys, so welcome back to my early 2024 AFL Ladder Predictions plus finals and obviously my 3 big calls. Now just quickly before getting into today's video, I do want to let you know that I did do a bottom 10 AFL Ladder Prediction before doing my top 8 one. So if you want to avoid any spoilers before watching today's video, do check out that video. I'll leave a link in the description below. And yeah, just to avoid any spoilers that may occur in today's video. But anyway, today is my top 8 AFL Ladder Predictions plus finals and 3 big calls. And if I don't get those 3 big calls correct, I've got to do a punishment. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. So in 8th position, scraping into the 8 just by a whisker, literally, after a really often bad year by this football club, I see them returning to finals footy in 2024. And look, I just think they had a really injury-impacted year, and I reckon 2024 will be the year that the Geelong Football Club return to the AFL Finals. And look, I would love to be an absolute jackass and put Geelong in that top 4, but I just can't. There's just no way that's happening. But still, I just think last year was injuries that costed Geelong to make the top 8 and obviously win games as well. And as you might have saw on Fox Footy's post at the start of the season of 2023, you might have saw that Geelong also got one of the hardest fixtures out there. So yeah, we did see how the hardest fixtures were for 2023 for each club. And looking at this, I'm pretty sure Geelong were in the top 2 for the hardest fixture in 2023. But somehow the Cats have managed to sneak into the top 5 for the easiest fixture in 2024, which is, it's music to my ears. It's beautiful for my eyes as well to just see that we've got a really good fixture this year. But I do think Geelong will finish 8th, not just for that reason, but also because I think even last year, Geelong were just so close to winning games against one of the greatest teams in the competition. You know what I mean? Like the top teams like your Collingwoods, your Carltons, yeah, all those clubs. We were so close. Like even Brisbane at the Gabba, only like an 11-point loss. So I see Geelong return to finals footy and will be another team to beat in the 2024 season. Now 7th spot, falling down the ladder a bit, I have Melbourne, straight into it. I think the D's are just due for a bad year. Just mainly, their club just isn't really in the greatest place in my opinion. Obviously with the troubles with Joel Smith, with the whole, you know what, well if you know, you know I guess. And also Clayton Oliver as well, I should add. Like a lot has been happening at the Melbourne Footy Club as of late, but I still feel like the D's, they'll be a finals contention club and a force to be reckoned with when they play at home at the G, etc. But with the D's, I do kind of feel like they're going to have a rough start to the season, hence to why I've got them at 7th. And just kind of seeing what their fixture was like for the first 7 games, as crazy it is, I think they might start 1-5, the Melbourne Footy Club. But honestly, even if they did start 1-5, I still see them bouncing back into the season and just becoming a real finals contender once again in the season. And honestly, I need a drink. But the D's, I do still feel like will be a force to be reckoned with in the 2024 season, and I reckon their main goal as well will be trying to win a final at the G, even if they make it or get a home final at the G where they finish 6th, 5th, 2nd or 1st. One of those 4. A standout player for the Melbourne Demons in 2024, I just think it's going to be Christian Petrarca. I reckon he's going to be a real contender for the Brownlow. I could see a top 5 finish for him. I think a couple of years ago he did finish like 4th or 5th. I think it was the 2021 season if I'm not mistaken, but still, I've chucked Melbourne in 7th. They'll still be a great side, but I just reckon a couple clubs will finish higher than them. Just hopefully they can win a final of the G, which might not happen because of the club that I have in 6th. So basically, in 6th spot, I have the big sound, the GWS Giants. Now, I love the hype around the Giants that everyone's giving them. Like, it's huge, everyone. Like, every man and their dog has GWS putting them around that 6 to top 4 area on their ladder predictions. Like the hype, it's unreal, folks. Now look, originally, oh no, I won't lie about this as well. I did have GWS in that kind of area where I had St Kilda like around 14th, but I just kind of feel like now, just seeing the hype and everyone getting around the GWS Giants, saying this is going to be their year, they're making the grand final, they're going further than Collingwood ever could. I just think it might happen. But just for now, from percentage, I'm going to have the Giants in 6. I reckon they'll be a force to be reckoned with at Giants Stadium. Toby Green, well, if he doesn't get suspended, that is. He's going to have a ripping season, and he's another one that I could see getting high votes and also a high place in the Brownlow. But yeah, lots have the big sound in the top 4, but just for my prediction and from percentage as well, thanks to Squiggle, I'm going to have the Giants in 6th. Now finishing just outside that top 4 in 5th spot, have a club that's sliding down the ladder a little bit, but I still feel like it will be a really hard team to beat when put up against and also playing them at home. But I reckon, obviously, a still finals contender and potentially a grand final contender as well, and this is the Port Adelaide Power. They've done pretty well, Port Adelaide, in the trade period, obviously picking up the much-loved Geelong player, Sirens. He will definitely add to that back line for Port Adelaide, and even with the loss of Dersma, they still added to that list with adding Shoutout, Jordan Sweet. It makes up for the loss of Dersma. Like really massively, I feel, because Sirens, he is a gun, obviously, as a Geelong fan myself. You can see right there. Sirens, he was an absolute gun for us. I wish he got more game time as well, but unfortunately, just not to be. And also, Brendan Thatcher, I think that's how you say his name. I'm not too familiar with him. So yeah, I've gone through the hype for Port Adelaide, like what's going to be good for them. However, I just kind of feel like the pressure's going to get to Port Adelaide a bit. Obviously, trying to make a finals win and trying to get past a semi-final at least, or make it to a home prelim, or etc. And I just kind of feel like even getting the second hardest fixture in 2024, just think it's going to be a bit too much for the Power, so I'm going to have them in 5th. Moving into my top 4 now, and in 4th position, this club is just going to be a major dark horse in the 2024 season. Look out for them when you put up against them. They've had many shaky seasons, a really unfortunate one last year, and they're going to return to finals in 2024, folks. This is the Adelaide Crows. Now, I'm not even joking when I tell you this, folks, and this is a massive call. It won't be part of my big calls, but I'm just going to say it right now anyway. I think the Adelaide Crows are going to start the season 7-0. Looking at their fixture here, this is what they've got for the first 7 games or so. I'm not even joking. I don't think Adelaide are going to have a shaky start at all. I think they're just going to be one of the teams to beat, a top 4 contending side all year round. I don't see them dropping down too far at any stage in Adelaide. They're just going to be hungry in 2024. They want revenge. They really want revenge for that unfortunate finals miss in 2023. They should have made it. But obviously that poor umpire decision kicking them out of the finals and Sydney getting in instead. Yeah, that was absolute drama and a half. But still, I just think Adelaide, they're going to make it this year. The excitement over Walker still. He could make a top 2 finish again in the Coleman. Could he win it this year? Who knows, folks. And look, he wasn't even too far off that Coleman medal as well, Taylor Walker. He was like 5 goals or so behind Charlie Curnow. Keezy's also going to be huge. Rory Laird. The list just goes on for the great players for the Crows in 2024. It's a huge year for them. Redemption's coming. Revenge. Whatever you want to say, I have Adelaide in 4th. I might as well mention as well, despite the losses of Shane McAdam and also Duday, the Crows, they did pick up Chris Burgess from the Suns, and obviously that was, I think Shane McAdam and also, who was the other one, Duday. I'm pretty sure they were both forwards. So Chris Burgess, a key forward for the Suns, that could definitely make up for those 2 losses. Now coming in the 3rd spot, this team, they definitely redeemed themselves last year in 2023. Another team returning to finals, not this year, but obviously last year returned to finals after a decade of misery and whatnot. And look, I reckon they'll be taking down their arch rivals in that top 3. This is the big hype around the Carlton Football Club. So Carlton, I just think they're going to be a great watch in 2024. The Blues, they're a force to be reckoned with, put up against, either whether at home, away, etc. They went on a massive winning streak last year, as some may saw, beating Port Adelaide by 50 points at Marvel. Like that was an unbelievable victory. But the Blues, I think they're just going to be in the top 8 all year. I don't really see them dropping out at any point at all. But yeah, just put it this way, the Blues, they're just going to be consistent all through 2024. They might lose a couple games now and then, but I think all through the season, they'll always have a winning streak going. I reckon they'll lose more than 2 games in a row. It'll just be a really consistent year for the Carlton Football Club. Now in 2nd spot, I just couldn't make them go back-to-back minor premierships. Like, I'll still have them in 2nd though, but I just kind of feel like having a team go back-to-back minor premierships is something you never see. It's something really rare, but they're still going to be a force to reckon with. And obviously, it is the king of close finishes, the premiers of 2023, staring down a 17th premiership. I have the Collingwood Magpies in second. Yep, the Kings are close finishers. Collingwood, they're just still going to be a side you'll want to put your foot through the TV losing close games against. I know they're going to be a really good side in 2024. However, I think they're going to have like a really low percentage just because of the close wins. Because I think this year it'll be just a crazy year for Collingwood. They're going to win so many close and miraculous games that they weren't meant to win. But compared to 2023, I just kind of feel like 2024 is just going to be a real low percentage year for them. Kind of similar to 2022. Obviously, they'll still be the team to beat. They've got that premiership list still. I don't see them getting cocky with that premiership list. Like, yeah, they've got the talent and they don't really normally get cocky, the Pies, like at all, because obviously they just fight till the end. They're down most times the three-quarter time and always come back and win the game. Despite the loss of Jack Ginnivan and Taylor Adams, they're still just going to be a great side. Only 2 players they did lose, but that's kind of the reason hence to why I've got them in second and just sliding down a little bit. But that's all good for the Pies. They're the premiers. They're going to be a benchmark side and etc. there. The Pies I have in second. But now to my minor premiers, and for a team that lost what? A gun forward, 2 reserves. They didn't really add too much or have much of an impact at all, those players, but still, they added Tom Doedee to the list, and this club, obviously, the pride of Brisbane Town, the kings of the Gabba, the Brisbane Lions are the minor premiers, in my opinion, for the 2024 season. Look, the Lions, I just think they're going to be hungry for more in 2024. They're the only club, other than kind of Carlton, that I can see topping Collingwood in 2024 and going one step higher to a potential grand final. Now, I don't know what their win streak is at the Gabba, but it's probably going to continue on the 2024 season. It's a really long streak, folks, but still, I just think it'll continue on for a little bit longer in 2024. But they probably will lose later on down the track of the Gabba, but that's not going to stop the Lions. They're just still going to be a force to be reckoned with. They've got a 2-time Brownlow medalist. Yeah, not you, Fifey. Charlie Cameron, he's due for another huge year in front of his home fans and his home crowd at the Gabba. Bit of country road, take me home, a bit of motorbike, etc. Him and Danaher, I could even see Joe Danaher kicking 60 plus goals this season and finish top 5 in the Coleman race, but still, it's going to be huge. And stars like Hipwood, Rayner, Coleman, McCluggage, Zorko, Dunkley, another player that I feel like is going to have a breakout year in 2024. He did really well last year as well, obviously traded from the Dogs, and definitely a great what am I saying? A great inclusion to the Brisbane Lions list in 2023. And 2024, I just feel like Dunkley, he'll be another contender for the Brownlow medal. So look out for him as well. Just feel like Dunkley, he'll dominate the stats in the competition, and I just think Brisbane, they're going to be one of the biggest threats to see in the 2024 AFL season. Now, as promised at the end of last prediction video, I said I would do finals, and I was like, yeah, why not? Let's do my finals of the predictions that I have here today for my top 8. But if you do want to skip just to my 3 big calls and the punishments that will be happening if I don't get it correct, well, just skip a little bit to right here. Anyway, folks, let's do my finals predictions. Let's go. Alright, so kicking it off on the Thursday night, we have Port Adelaide and Geelong at the Adelaide Oval. I don't see Geelong putting up a fight in this one, honestly, with Port Adelaide. So I'm going to give it to Port Adelaide. They'll win here by 33 points, just due to their form in Adelaide. And yeah, Geelong, they just can't play in Adelaide for some reason. And Port Adelaide, they'll probably just be the better side in 2024. So we'll give them a 33-point victory. Now, next up on the Friday night, this is just huge. The final of all finals at the MCG. Collingwood versus Carlton at the G. Although this game could go either way, I just think the Blues will beat the Pies in the early stage of the season, but the Pies, I reckon I'll just get it done here. Hope I tricked you there. The Pies get the Chockies in this one. Let's just go by 8 points. A real close one for the Pies. They'll probably come from behind, and the Pies will move to another prelim final. Second elimination final on the Saturday Arvo at Giants Stadium. We have GWS versus Melbourne. This game will be a close one all the way through, I feel, just because, yeah, obviously Melbourne, they play in a lot of close finals. The Giants, they've got the hype and also the home ground advantage. Could Melbourne be a better side? Who knows? I hate to do this to the D supporters all around the globe, but I just feel like the Giants, they always show up in finals. They always just randomly play well against the best sides in the finals and make it pretty far as well. So I reckon at home, they'll get the fans down and they'll go through and beat the Melbourne Footy Club by 15 points. GWS through to the semi-final. To the Gabba to see the Brisbane Lions take on the Adelaide Crows. Simply, although the Crows did put in the effort here in 2023 against the Lions, Brisbane is just the top team that I had, and I just think they'll make it into the prelim, beat the Crows fairly comfortably, and the Crows, well, that means they're going to be playing their arch rivals in the semi-final, and we'll go Brisbane to win this one by 24 points. So now it's off to the semi-final, starting it off with Carlton and GWS on the Friday night footy. Carlton, they're going to be hungry like they were in 2023 to win this one. The Giants, I feel like they're going to lead this one up until half-time, but before the Blues, well, they were just going to bloody blitz in that second half, I feel like. Yeah, I just think Carlton will win this one against the Giants. I love the hype for the Giants, I reckon they'll only get the one finals win. Carlton will win this one by 19 points. Crows versus Power in a final for the first time since 2005. I see the biggest margin of this game only being under 4 goals all the way through, but I still think Adelaide they're just not going to cope with the finals experience, I feel like. I just kind of feel like Port Adelaide is just going to win this one with kind of their finals experience and also the list that they've had going into finals. So, hate to do this to the Crows fans out there, but I'm just going to have Port Adelaide to move into a prelim final, winning this one by 10 points. First prelim final, we got Collingwood versus Port Adelaide at the MCG for a spot in the 2024 AFL Grand Final. I hate to say it, I really do, but Collingwood will get a win here, unfortunately. Comfortably as well, I reckon. Port Adelaide, they did finish 5th, obviously, but 5th, it isn't enough to beat a side that is also the premiers, but also finished 2nd and higher on the ladder. And what? They only got their first finals win in what? 2 years or so, Port Adelaide. If they were to win this year in a final, yeah, I just think the Prison Bars are going to go down to the Collingwood Footy Club by 46 points in a very comfortable finals win. Because you always have a finals game every year where just one team dominates. And I just think Collingwood are going to do it in the prelim against Port Adelaide. And then the stage was set for Brisbane and Carlton to the Gabba again in a prelim final. Look, in a low scoring match for this one, I'm going to go. I think Brisbane, you're not going to win. Michael Voss against his old club that he played for back in the day. I just think they'll beat the Lions. They'll get the credit over there as well, the Blues. They're going to get them over the line as well. Watch the Blues. Bring them home. No 5-goal chokes tonight for Carlton. They're going to get the job done by 12 points and move to an arch-rival MCG Collingwood-Carlton Grand Final. The Grand Final we've been waiting for a long time. The two crazy fan bases in Melbourne, Collingwood and Carlton. 100,024 people are going to pack in the MCG, but I also see Carlton leading the game at every change. Except for the last quarter. Because it will be the 1970 Grand Final redemption for Collingwood, as I think they're going to run away winners in this game. Back-to-back winners by 21 points. And look, is it plain and basic to go Collingwood to win the premiership? Probably, but it's just all their experience, you know. They've just got the finals experience. Carlton, first final in 10 years, in a decade. It just doesn't feel right to have them as the premiers. Yes, they made the prelim 2 years in a row, and then obviously a grand final after beating Brisbane after a bit of redemption, but they've got the experience, they've got the talent. I just think the Pies, they can just outlast the Blues, not any day of the week, but I just reckon they're going to be better on the day. Win the flag again and become the first team to win 17 premiership cups. Norm Smith, I don't know. Charlieww, 7 straight goals in the grand final, and takes it out. So I have Collingwood for my premiers, but there's still one more thing to go, and that is my 3 big calls that if I don't get right, well, basically how it's going to work is I'll have to do a big call for the season, and I have to set a punishment if I don't get that big call correct. So for every big call I don't get correct, it won't be the same punishment, it will all be different. So let's see what I have. So I'm going to start it off with this one. So my first big call plus the punishment for 2024. If the Geelong Football Club manage to finish in the top 6 on the AFL ladder at the end of the season, I will do my first ever ice-filled bath for 15 minutes. So like, literally filled with ice, cold water, it's just not going to feel great. I've never done it before, obviously, so yeah, it's just going to put that one on the punishment list in case Geelong finish in that top 6, and hopefully, for your sake, the top 6 comes true, but I guess it's kind of a win-win, because even if it doesn't happen, I don't have to do an ice bath for the first time, but if it does happen, my team finishes in the top 6. Second big call, and I reckon a lot of people will be hoping for this one. If the St Kilda Football Club managed to make it as far to a prelim final, God, I will make a music song parody from the song We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy Joel into an AFL YouTuber's parody. That is right, folks. Now look, I can't sing to save my life, to be completely honest with you, so I don't really know what's going to happen if the Saints do make it to a prelim final, but I'm going to put that one on the punishment list. So if St Kilda make it as far to a prelim final, I will sing a parody or make a parody song about AFL YouTubers. And for my last big call, and look, I'm screwed if this one happens, but still, seriously, I'm going to put this one up for grabs because it's obviously a big call. If Collingwood win 6 games or more in the premiership season by under 6 points, I will personally have to do an IRL stream, non-bloody stop, until I've kicked more goals from 20 metres out than Tony Lockett. None other than Tony bloody Lockett. Seriously. So basically what it means is, if they win 6 games or more by under 6 points, that's what's going to happen. I'm going to have to mark it myself from 20 metres out, probably directly in front of goal as well at some random venue. And then I've got to count to, I think it's 160. Let me just have a quick look here, folks. So it's kick. So he kicked 1,360, and I'll have to kick 1,361 goals non-stop until I've done. So Collingwood, please either lose or win games by 7 or more points, please. Anyway, guys, that was my early 2024 AFL Ladder Prediction. Now, I was planning on doing one on Squiggle very, very soon, predicting every single game of the 2024 season, just to kind of get a more accurate prediction. Now, I did do this on Squiggle, but later on in the year, towards the start of the season, I do want to do this again. So, do hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, also like the video as well. I'll be uploading more content in the future, so stay tuned for all that, and I'll see you in the next one. See you soon.